The easiest person to misread is not the loud one. It is the calm one who knows how to hide desire behind composure and intention behind perfect timing. Stay with me until the end, because the later lessons go deeper than the first ones, and they may change the way you understand the people closest to you. And if this kind of clarity is what you come here for, subscribe and continue the journey with me. Welcome back to Guiguzi Strategic Wisdom. I'm Sophia, the writer behind this video. There is a mistake I think many people make for far too long. They believe reading people is about catching lies, spotting manipulation, or learning a few clever tricks. But over time, I have come to see it differently. Reading people is not about suspicion. It is about discipline. It is about learning to look past appearances without becoming bitter. It is about seeing the hidden movement beneath behavior, the pressure beneath the smile, the desire beneath the courtesy, the fear beneath the confidence. That is not cynicism. That is maturity. Because most people do not reveal themselves in words. They reveal themselves in patterns, in timing, in what they reach for when they are under pressure, in what they protect when something valuable is at stake, in what changes when they are no longer admired, no longer comfortable, no longer getting what they want. Think about it. A person can rehearse a sentence. A person can manage an image. A person can learn what kind of kindness looks respectable. But very few people can hide their instincts forever. Human nature leaves traces. It always does. So if you want to read people better, the real question is not, what did they say? The real question is, what moves them when circumstances change? That is where character begins to show itself. That is where judgment becomes sharper. That is where a wise person stops being easily pulled by charm, urgency, or appearances. The first lesson is simple, but most people resist it because it asks for patience. Do not read people by what they claim. Read them by what they consistently protect. There is an old strategic truth I have always felt in life. When a person is forced to choose, their priorities speak more honestly than their promises. That matters more than people realize. Someone may say they value loyalty, but when convenience calls, they protect comfort. Someone may say they value honesty, but when truth threatens their image, they protect appearance. Someone may say they care about you, but when your needs interfere with their desire, they protect themselves first and call it necessity. This is where most people get it wrong. They listen too closely to language and not closely enough to behavior under tension. But tension is where reality stops pretending. When life becomes inconvenient, people return to what they truly worship: power, security, attention, peace, control, approval, freedom, sometimes love, sometimes only the idea of love. At work, this becomes obvious when a person praises collaboration but protects credit. In friendship, it appears when someone speaks warmly about trust but protects their own comfort the moment honesty becomes difficult. In family, it shows when a person says they want closeness but protects pride more fiercely than connection. In marriage, it can be even more painful. A partner may say all the right words, but when pressure rises, what they defend reveals who they really are. It is not because people are always evil. It is because instinct is often stronger than image. And if you do not learn to read that instinct, you will keep misjudging people by their surface. I once knew someone in a professional setting who spoke beautifully about fairness. Let me call her Rachel. She had the language of integrity. She encouraged people, listened carefully, and always seemed measured. But over time, I noticed something unsettling. Whenever a situation required her to risk her standing for the sake of principle, she stepped back. She would speak about values in safe moments, but when those values carried a cost, she protected position. That taught me something I did not forget. A person's deepest loyalty is not proven in comfort. It is proven in conflict. Not dramatic conflict, real conflict, the kind where they must lose something to remain true to what they claim. Look at reality for what it is. If you want to read people better, stop asking what they admire in theory. Watch what they defend in practice. Watch what they excuse in themselves. Watch what they sacrifice first. Time, honesty, other people, their peace, their ambition. Something is always being protected. And whatever that thing is, it is usually closer to the center of their character than their words will ever be. The second lesson is this. Do not judge a person only by how they treat you when they want something. Judge them by how they behave when there is nothing to gain. This lesson becomes more important the older I get, because charm is often strongest in the season of pursuit. When someone wants access, support, approval, affection, opportunity, forgiveness, or advantage, they can become incredibly attentive. They remember details. They offer warmth. They seem almost rare in their thoughtfulness. But that is not always character. Sometimes that is appetite with good manners. That is not kindness. That is calculation. A truly grounded person has a certain steadiness to them. Their decency does not disappear when there is no audience, no reward, no immediate benefit. They may still be flawed. They may still be tired. But their regard for others does not switch on and off like a business strategy. The false person is different. They are warm when pursuing, distant when secure, generous when observed, careless when unwatched, interested when you are useful, vague when your usefulness fades. It is not because they changed suddenly. It is because the condition that activated their best behavior has been met or removed. Do you see the turning point here? The real question is not, how good are they at making people feel valued? The real question is, who are they when effort no longer benefits them? That question saves years of confusion. You see this pattern in dating when someone is deeply attentive until commitment is established, then gradually becomes indifferent. You see it in social competition when a person is supportive until they no longer need your alliance. You see it in friendship when someone is emotionally available only while you are carrying the conversation, the plans, the help, the emotional labor. And you see it at work when someone treats you with warmth only while you are useful to their advancement. The psychology behind this is not mysterious. Desire sharpens performance. When people want something, they become energetic, observant, almost disciplined. But when desire is satisfied, instinct relaxes, and true baseline character begins to show. That is why timing matters so much in reading people. Early behavior can be highly misleading. Pursuit creates theater. Stability reveals structure. Think about it. How many people have mistaken attention for respect? How many have mistaken pursuit for devotion? How many have stayed loyal to a version of someone that existed only during the season of gain? This is where naivety becomes expensive, because if you judge people too early or only in the moment when they are trying to win something, you will build trust on a temporary version of them. And later, when the performance fades, you will call it betrayal. But often it is simply revelation delayed. A wise person does not rush to conclusions in either direction. They do not become cynical. They do not become gullible. They wait. They observe. They let time remove the unnecessary layers. Because time has a way of exhausting what is false. It strips performance of energy. It reveals whether effort was rooted in discipline or in desire. And that is why patience is not passivity. It is strategy. The third lesson is one I had to learn slowly. Listen less to a person's opinions about others and more to the emotional pleasure they take in speaking those opinions. This one is subtle, but it reveals a great deal. Many people say sharp things. Many people criticize. Many people claim they are just being honest. But honesty is not revealed only by content. It is revealed by spirit. There is a difference between clear judgment and hidden appetite. A difference between insight and cruelty. A difference between discernment and the quiet thrill of tearing someone down. And if you miss that difference, you will miss the person entirely.